Trans Am, presented by Pirelli, returns to Virginia International Raceway, easily the most picturesque circuit of the season, and this year the weather was perfect. In TA2 practice, Gar Robinson and Shane Lewis were quick, as was Tony Buffamante and Rafa Matos. Kyle Marcelli turned a lot of heads with his performance, and Cameron Lawrence was very speedy. But all the focus was on Tony Buffamante and Gar Robinson, who were very close in points near the end of the TA2 championship, while everyone struggled to navigate this challenging 3.27-mile course. But in testing, the very fast Cameron Lawrence had a huge crash at the end of the fastest part of the track.
So today we had a brake failure of some sort going down the back straight here at VIR at about 157 miles an hour, and was lucky enough to get the car slowed down to about 100 before hitting the tire barrier at the end of the back straight. So did a little damage to the car, did a little damage to me, but all in all, everything, all the safety stuff did its job, and I'm standing here all right, so can't complain too much.
Green, 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 and the field is side by side going into turn one at VIR. Shane gives Matos a little love tap as Gar pulls ahead. Rafa Matos takes the turn from Shane, followed by Tony Buffamante and Kyle Marcelli. Tom Sheehan and Doug Peterson connect at 4, and Sheehan does a great job of holding on and staying ahead of Trans Am champion Doug Peterson. So, going up the beautiful VIRSs, it's Gar Robinson, Rafa Matos, Shane Lewis, Kyle Marcelli, Tony Buffamante, Tom Sheehan, Doug Peterson, Phil Lasco, Roberto Sabato, Kurt Vogt, Keith Prochek, Maurice Hill, Joe Stevens, and Elias Anderson. Now it's Kyle Marcelli battling it out with Tony Buffamante, last year's TA2 champion. Kyle right on the back of Tony Buffamante going into turn 4. Lap 4, and it's easy to see that Rafa Matos is the fastest car in the field. But can he find a way around Gar, who seems to have great control of his car? Oh, and look at this. Matos goes deep into turn 14A, and Gar is forced to give him the line. And Matos leads the train down the roller coaster at Virginia International Raceway. Now it's the 8th lap, and Matos puts a small gap between he and Gar, as Marcelli starts to find some speed and closes the gap between 4th and 5th. Coming up the S's at VIR, Matos carries too much speed into turn 10 and goes deep into the grass, giving Gar the lead once again. Tony Buffamante up the S's, following Shane Lewis closely. Gets loose on the little jump and into the grass. Tony Buffamante into the grass up the S's. That brings out a double yellow. Lap 13, and we have a restart, and it is tight into turn 1. Marcelli and Matos side by side, and Matos is on a mission to get his lead back from Gar. Coming around the NASCAR bend, coming up to 4, and Matos dives in on Shane Lewis, and he holds it going into turn 5. Now Matos right behind Gar Robinson, the leader. The battle for 1 through 4 is very close, and it seems like Matos is waiting for his opportunity to get around Gar. Oh, and Phil Lasco loses it into the grass at NASCAR Bend. Lap 17, and we're able to stay green. And the battle for 1 through 4 stays tight as Marcelli seems to be getting quicker each lap. How about this little bit of acrobatics from Phil Lasco to get to safety? The pace car comes out to rescue Phil Lasco's car, and there's some confusion. Nobody wants to pass Matos, but he is coasting, not under power. Matos is the fastest car in the field, is now stuck. He is not moving between turn 1 and 2. His car is smoking a little bit. He gets out very frustrated, and the VIR safety crew pulls him in out of the race. But look at this, at lap 20, under double yellow, the Mike Cope Racing crew pushes Tony Buffamonte back on the track so he can get as many points as possible, hoping to finish the race. And we go back to green. It's Gar Robinson, Shane Lewis, Kyle Marcelli, Doug Peterson, and Tom Sheehan. As Marcelli dives in at 4, taking the spot from Shane. On the very next lap, Shane Lewis and Kyle Marcelli drag race into turn 1. Shane takes the inside line as Doug Peterson hunts for his opportunity to take any advantage he can. With only 2 laps to go, we're losing light, and the Robinson Racing team seems to have 1 and 2 locked up. But Stevens is making a move on Sheehan for 5th. He locks them up but doesn't give up as Sheehan gets a little bit loose on the exit of the turn. Now at Oak Tree, Stevens gets a little sideways behind Sheehan as he gets a good draft, pulls out, and it's a drag race up the back straight. Who is going to outbrake who? And now Stevens takes the lead into the roller coaster. The white flag is out, indicating the last lap, and Gar has a good lead with teammate Shane right behind him, followed by Kyle Marcelli. And now Stevens has a good hold on 5th place. The checkered flag comes out at VIR in the TA2 race, and it's Gar Robinson, Shane Lewis, and Kyle Marcelli on the podium.
We haven't been on the top of the podium since Indy, so it's been a while. So we're really happy to be on top, being with a teammate, having a Robinson Racing sweep, and then being with my buddy Kyle Marcelli. But no, we're more than happy to be up here. The guys gave me a really great car all weekend. I didn't really touch a thing on it. We put tires and brakes on it. That's about it. But no, everything ran perfect, and I don't think we could have had more of a perfect weekend.
Well, I got to say, Gar said he didn't touch anything on the car all weekend. Heck, I think we touched just about everything there was on this car. It was a lot of fun. I got to say thanks to Fields Racing. We're in an M1 chassis here. It's a one-off. It's built by the team, and we're just constantly learning it and developing it. And it's a ton of fun to race here in the Trans Am Series. These cars are a blast. The racing's a blast. These guys have a lot of respect for each other and their competitors, and we saw that today. I had one go at Shane and went for it, and he was gracious enough to let me lead him for a lap, and then he took it back, and that was it.
He got around you, and he said you were gracious enough to let him go 1 lap ahead of you. Talk to me.
I wouldn't call it gracious. He made a professional move on the inside of me. I just knew that if I tried to block that particular move, the chances of banging tires and getting a flat was worse. So my job was to bring this car home clean, and did that. But I knew that I had to get that position back. It's one thing to crash a car. It's another one to let somebody go around me. I think they had killed me twice. So that wasn't going to happen. Awesome move by Hip Hart. My teammate and good buddy Gar Robinson just killed the field today. All I want to do now is drink some tequila, go to 74 Ranch. That's what I want to do. Listen to some Godsmack and some ZZ Top, and life will be good.
Well, I'm going to get out the way because I've been a victim of this before.
Gentlemen, don't get it on the cars.
Don't get it on the car.
Woo!